Hey, what's up guys? Will here for GSM Arena. Today, let's have a look at a couple of big names in the smartphone market. On one side, we have Apple's new top flagship, the iPhone 16 Pro Max. And in the other corner is one of this year's more popular Android flagships, Samsung's Galaxy S24 Ultra. So how do these two premium phones compare? Let's put them head to head and find out. The iPhone 16 Pro Max and Galaxy S24 Ultra are of course very different. Apple has its own way of doing things, and so does Samsung. The two phones have quite a different look. The iPhone has rounded corners and an island housing its cameras. The Samsung is slightly larger, with a squared-off, rectangular shape, sharp corners, and separate cameras. Both phones have a titanium frame and Corning-made glass on the back, though the Galaxy's is specified as Corning Gorilla Armor. Both smartphones have IP68 rated wrist protection, but the iPhone has better waterproofing. It can survive in up to 6 meters of water for half an hour, compared to 1.5 meters for the Galaxy. The iPhone has a hardware action key. You can set it to open one of a few predefined actions, or you can set up some custom shortcuts of your own. And new this year is the iPhone's camera control key. You can use it to start the camera, to access and change settings on the fly, and of course to shoot photos and take videos, all without having to touch the display. What the S24 Ultra brings is stylus support. The stylus comes included in the box, it's waterproof, and it can tuck away inside the body of the phone. Apple has equipped the iPhone 16 Pro Max with a larger screen this year. At 6.9 inches, it's the largest iPhone screen yet. This is 0.2 inches larger than the previous model. The screen also uses a new version of ceramic shield glass that's meant to be tougher, and the bezels are even slimmer here. The S24 Ultra, on the other hand, has a 6.8-inch LTPO OLED, with a 120Hz refresh rate and a QHD resolution, which comes out to a pixel density of 505 ppi. Although the Galaxy's screen is sharper, the difference in resolution isn't really noticeable to the naked eye. The iPhone has support for Dolby Vision video though, on top of the HDR10 Plus video which you also get on the Galaxy. And both displays offer great contrast and brightness. The Galaxy screen is quite matte, and since it's less reflective, when you're outside in the sun, the legibility is improved. Another consideration is that the S24 Ultra has a smaller cutout for the selfie hardware, as the iPhone's also holds a 3D TOF sensor. Still, while its cutout is larger, Apple makes use of it with the dynamic island functionality. A black bar extends around it to display relevant info and shortcuts. The TOF sensor inside this cutout enables Apple's Face ID, which is more secure than your standard face unlock, and is used for biometric authentication. The S24 Ultra does have a less secure face unlock, but for secure biometrics you'll be using an under-display fingerprint reader. When it comes to audio, both phones have stereo speakers with very good loudness. They have excellent sound quality too. Let's listen to compare.
I'm wide awake, but you're a nightmare. I can't escape, I'm seeing you everywhere.
The iPhone 16 Pro Max uses the newest A18 Pro chipset, the most powerful from Apple yet. The Galaxy S24 uses the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, which is slightly outdated at this point, but was Qualcomm's top Android silicon when this phone came out at the beginning of 2024. In benchmarks, the iPhone significantly outperforms the Galaxy in CPU tests, while the Galaxy has an advantage in graphics tests, especially when it comes to ray tracing. Overall, both phones are plenty powerful and can handle basically anything you throw at them. Of course, the phones run on very different software. We've got iOS versus Android here, and each does things its own way. Nowadays, manufacturers are excited to provide AI-based features, and Galaxy AI has quite a lot to offer in this regard. It's been around for a while now. Apple is on board with this as well, providing its own Apple Intelligence features. They were rolled out quite recently though, and the suite is not quite as expansive or refined as what you'd get on the Galaxy. When it comes to software support, Samsung has promised 7 years of updates for the S24 Ultra. But Apple usually delivers 5 or 6 years of major OS updates, so it's a marginal difference between the two. When it comes to battery, the iPhone has a 4,685 mAh capacity compared to 5,000 mAh on the Galaxy. Still, even with its smaller battery, the iPhone beat the S24 Ultra by a long shot in our battery life tests. The Galaxy's scores are pretty good, but the Pro Max beat it pretty much across the board, and overall, the iPhone earned one of the best active use scores around. The Galaxy may not last as long as the iPhone on a single charge, but it does take less time to top up. When it comes to wired charging, the iPhone was able to charge from 0 to 46% in half an hour, compared to 69% on the Samsung. And for a full charge, the Samsung took about an hour, compared to almost 2 for the iPhone. Both phones support wireless charging too, but the S24 Ultra is the only one providing reverse wireless charging. And finally, we have the cameras. The iPhone 16 Pro Max has a 48 megapixel main cam, a 12 megapixel 5x telephoto zoom, and a new 48 megapixel ultra-wide camera. The Galaxy S24 Ultra, on the other hand, has a 200 megapixel main cam, a 10 megapixel 3x telephoto cam, a 5 megapixel 5x telephoto, and a 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera. Since the S24 Ultra has one extra telephoto camera, right off the bat you can see that it provides a more versatile shooting experience. Let's have a look at the quality though, starting with the main cameras. Photos from these two phones' main cameras carry each brand's signature approach to processing. The Galaxy's output is more expressive, with brighter exposures and more vibrant colors. In contrast, the color rendition on the iPhone is more subdued. 2x zoom is done digitally with either phone, and while the 16 Pro Max does a respectable job, the S24 Ultra has a bit of an edge. At 5x zoom, both phones are using a telephoto camera. But even so, it seems the S24 Ultra has an edge in detail and clarity. Comparing the photos from the ultra-wides, there's not a major difference to speak of between these two phones. And now for low-light shooting. The Galaxy's main cam produces photos that are noisier than the iPhone's, but there is a bit of extra detail as well. Overall, the Galaxy's photos tend to have better definition. At 5x in the dark, the iPhone does alright, but the Galaxy has the upper hand when it comes to detail. The S24 Ultra also wins for ultra-wide photo quality in the dark, with a meaningful advantage in definition and detail. The two phones capture great selfies, but we'd say the ones from the Galaxy have an edge in detail, and they also have livelier, more lifelike colors. And here's a look at selfie videos captured with either phone, in 4K resolution. Both phones can shoot in up to 4K resolution at 120 FPS with their main cameras, and the Galaxy can shoot in 8K as well. Let's compare 4K videos from the main cameras. While the output is a bit different, we wouldn't say that either phone has a meaningful advantage here. At 3x zoom though, the Galaxy's videos are much better. At 5x zoom at 4K resolution, the two phones take similar quality videos. And the 4K videos captured from the ultra-wide cameras are not that different on either phone. At night, the 4K videos from the main camera are pretty much on par quality-wise. However, the Galaxy avoids the lens reflections or flaring that you often get on the iPhone. So there you have it guys, two of 2024's top flagship phones, the iPhone 16 Pro Max and the Galaxy S24 Ultra. On either phone, there's a durable design with a titanium frame, a bright LTPO display, and great speakers. There's a flagship-grade chipset great for multitasking and gaming, and a solid camera experience. And you get AI-based software features and plenty of support down the line. The iPhone provides you with longer battery life and secure face unlock with the dynamic island functionality. The waterproofing is rated higher. You get hardware keys for shortcuts and controlling the cameras. And there are additional formats available when recording videos. With the Galaxy, you get the S Pen and faster charging, and an under-display fingerprint reader. The Galaxy has the edge when it comes to taking still photos, and is more versatile when it comes to zooming. It can record videos in 8K too. And as this phone came out at the beginning of 2024, it's considerably cheaper than the new iPhone. Of course, a major factor to consider is whether you want a phone with Android or iOS, and which ecosystem you prefer to use. If you don't mind using Android though, the Galaxy is the way to go. It's cheaper and more versatile. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.